Right. So this is, so everybody have a stare up here, everybody have a look up here. So this is a prompt that I typed up and I sent to ChatGPT, and this was this last summer. So, let's just look at the prompt here. So it says, quantify the cost to people, infrastructure, and animals of California wildfires in 2017. Include in-text citations and a literature cited section, right? So like equivalent to like maybe get you going on your first way of thinking about maybe some of your papers or whatever. Okay. And this is the first output. So I'll give you guys a second to read that. So this is from this past summer, and this is using, we're constantly updating these models. So this particular model is called 3.5. But do me a favor, just take a second, you guys read this and see what you think. And look at the literature cited and see what you think. Good, bad? What do you guys think?
It just agreed with what your prompt was.
Right. Dr. A is a good teacher. Dr. A is a really good teacher, and he's a teacher because he's a good professor, right? Yeah, please.
It's a start, but it doesn't have any like actual like quantifiable data, like how many habitats or numerous animal lives were lost.
Yeah. So first, it's crazy, right? It's typed in a couple words, and it is almost like a person typed this out, right? So we're talking about weaknesses, but it's like, oh my God. So firstly, it's very impressive. It's very tricky. It makes us think that there's this actual brain behind this, right? Because it's like, how else would they do this? But okay, so that's the first thing. Second thing is, as you guys are saying, yeah. So it's kind of very ultra high level, very super simplistic. Kind of wildfires are bad, right? And causing numerous animal lives. Like, was that like 1, or is that like 10, or is that like 10,000, right? Okay. So overall, would you guys say good, bad, in the middle? Well, how would you guys? So show me thumbs. Thumbs either up, sideways, or down. Okay, so some sideways, some side down, some sideways. Looks like most of you guys are sideways. Okay, so all right. So that was that was this summer. We now have what's called 4.0. And so this is from the other day when I typed it in. It's the same exact prompt. Let me remind you what the prompt is. The prompt is quantify the cost to people, infrastructure, and animals of California wildfires in 2017. Include in-text citations and a literature cited section. So the exact same thing. I just typed it in again. But this time it's to this more powerful model. And so there's 3 chunks of reading here. So read this first, and I'll when you guys start to raise your hand, I'll jump to the next and jump to the next. Okay, looks like most people has another 20 seconds or so, and we'll advance to the last one. Okay, so would you guys say, so again, thumbs up overall, kind of in the middle so-so, or thumbs down, not so good? So I'm getting some more thumbs up. I get some more middle. Let's get more up. So we had, I don't think we had any up last time. I think we had several like sort of so-sos, and we had several no's. So now we actually have some ups and a lot more mediocre. So tell me, so qualitatively, what do you guys think about this this version? Yeah.
It actually gives you numbers to think about compared to the last
Right.
one, where it was just like a bunch of information that
Yep.
you said, but you didn't really know much about it.
Yep.
And then it also used like better quotation than it did
Uh-huh.
the last one.
Yeah, definitely a much stronger. Again, and I didn't give it any more instruction to, make it this long or whatever. And so I just gave it free board, but it definitely fleshed things out, organized stuff a bit more also, gave it more structure than last time. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say it has like better transition words. And
Mhm.
instead of like saying like additionally this, it's more like condensing, but also like having sentences kind of like meet in the middle, and it just has like better transitions.
Yeah, better writing. Yeah, good. Right.
So you mentioned the first one that you did was from like August or
Uh-huh.
something. That is crazy, like just the difference between them.
Yeah.
I really like how the second one kind of not only expanded upon some of the that it already had, but it also included more facts about it, like
Uh-huh.
the mental health consequences and things like that.
Uh-huh. Good. So a little more diversity of answers from this one. You guys talked about there is some quantification in there. Good. Other thoughts, other general big picture.
I feel like the first one was very obviously like AI generated, and I feel like this one isn't as obvious. Like,
Yeah,
the first one,
totally.
And I almost wanted to roll my eyes. I'm like, that's a ChatGPT response.
Totally.
You know, it was just very like stereotypical. This one I think is definitely better. It's less like ChatGPT-esque. You know.
Totally. And so for the pro version, this is the version you guys get. So if you just are on the free version, that's cool. The first few things you'll do, it'll give you this model. If you start using it a lot, it'll default back to the 3.5 if you're not paying. So again, the general model the general approach with most of these companies is they'll give you something for free, and it's fairly good. It's like decent or whatever. But if you want like the cutting edge or the best thing, that's where they kind of like that's the premium thing they want you guys to pay for. Okay, good. Other things. What else? So generally, does this look accurate to you guys?
I was gonna say a lot of the numbers, that there are more numbers, but it's numbers like over 100,000.
Yeah.
Under, over.
Yeah.
So they're still estimates. So
Yeah.
it's still summarizing the information it's presenting a little bit too broadly, I think, to be what I think your original prompt was after.
Yeah.
It still seems like a little bit zoomed out and broad stroke.
Yes. And so remember, it tricks us. It tricks me all the time. It doesn't do any summaries. There's no summarizing here at all. There's no number looking up at all. It's not doing anything like that. What it's doing is it's looking through a bunch of things, newspaper articles, academic papers, web blogs, all that kind of stuff. And it's essentially a really, 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 really good autofill. And so we've given it some things, this word wildfire, this year 2017, this and that, and through some very sophisticated algorithms, it's gone through and said, okay, find all the papers or all the sources on the web that talk about these things. And it gives us the impression that it's summarizing, but it doesn't know what the hell it's doing. Right? There's no conscience here. There's no intelligence. It's very tricky. So here's one way we could sort of tell stuff, and this is what you guys should do. So when it says something like 1.3 million acres of land, maybe, again, treat it like me, right? Healthy skepticism, not thinking that it's actively trying to fool me or nefariously trying to destroy the world, but it's like, is that right? Here, let's look at these references. This first reference, California Department of Insurance, 2018, and the report is titled Wildfires of California. So because I'm teaching you guys this, but also because if I did this for real, I would do the same thing. I literally copied the output from ChatGPT and just pasted it in here. So this is exactly what it gave me, right? It's just formatted a little bit easier to fit on the screen. Reference, blah, 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 link. That's what it said. There's no hyperlink there. It just says bracket, LINK, close bracket. So I grabbed that title and searched and found a report. If I found that report, so it did exist. Number two, this Cal Fire Incident Archive, I found it. There's thousands of things in there, so you don't know which one it's looking at, but at least I know that was a real thing. California Farm Bureau Federation, there was a real report like that. But once we start getting into this stuff here, Fleming M, right? So this looks like a peer-reviewed publication. That looks like a total solid reference. Can't find that. That doesn't appear to exist. This one, this Kassler and Reese, doesn't appear to, or actually this one might, this link might exist. I think this one actually exists. But this one, Smith A, doesn't appear to exist. Stevens S doesn't exist, right? So again, it's a fancy autocorrect. It's not necessarily going in and doing all the checking of, is this a real paper? Is this a real number, right? So again, really helpful, as we said, when we're totally naive to a subject. I don't know anything about deep sea mining. I don't know anything about monkey hemorrhagic fever, right? It's a great first step. Hey, this sort of give me some structure, give me some organization, and I can start to go. I would not copy and paste this into some kind of write-up or something, right? So a nice start, a nice helper, a nice, get us going. But again, we need to be very, very careful as to what's coming out of these things. Cool? Okay, so let's do an exercise. So everybody pull out your computer. And our first exercise is this. Everybody's going to do a free writing thing. So if you have a tablet, you could do it on Google Doc. If you have a laptop, you can do it on your Word or whatever it is. But so this is what we're going to do. So you guys can do a free write. What that means is you're going to start writing and you're not going to let your fingers stop moving until I say 5 minutes. Okay? And you're not allowed to use the back key. You're not allowed to pause and re-highlight and fix a word. It's all good. It's all good. So your prompt is to write a description of the impacts of wildfires on Ventura County over the past decade. Okay, so I know, maybe some of you guys know about these. Maybe some of you guys don't. I don't care. Just whatever you think you know is fine for this. Okay, so I'm going to start the timer, and you guys are going to start typing, and you're not going to stop typing. Even if you're like, I don't know what to write. I don't know what to write. I don't know what to write. You're going to write that, right? So you're just going to continuously type for 5 minutes. Okay, ready? And I'll be quiet. And so again, the prompt is write a description of the impacts of wildfires on Ventura County for the past decade. Ready, set, go. Okay, about 10 seconds. Finish the sentence you're typing up, and we'll kill it there. Cool. All right, excellent. So this is a really helpful technique if you guys haven't done this, if you're just stuck and I've given you an assignment or somebody's giving you an assignment, you're like, I don't know where to start. Oh my God, Dr. A sucks. I can't believe he's making us do this. And you just don't know where to begin. You can always do a free write. Just 2 minutes, 5 minutes, boop, and just go. Do not worry about editing. Do not worry about spelling it correctly. Do not worry about punctuation. Just boof. And a lot of times that'll help us get our juices going, help get our anxiety about not starting going. Okay, so now we have that. Whatever you have, that's great, awesome. Now I want you to copy that text, so go to ChatGPT and insert it in, or if you guys have another favorite, large language model that's your favorite, you're more than welcome to use that. But so I want you to copy that text and type this exactly. So into the prompt. So a key thing that we've all learned is it's not like a Google search, right? It really is how we prompt. It really is what instructions we give make a huge difference on the kind of thing that comes out. And so for this one, this is the prompt I want you guys to use. Please remove redundant words and phrases from the following passage and make it coherent and cohesive. Return, and then put your text underneath that.
Did you want us to make an account?
If you haven't made one, yeah, make one, yeah. If you haven't made one yet, because it won't let you access it if you don't have an account. And again, just sign up for the free version. Don't let them trick you into doing a paid fancy version. So you're gonna put this prompt, and then hit return, and give it a space or whatever, and then insert whatever you've written for the last 5 minutes. And then I want to hear how it works for you guys, or what the output, what you think of the output. Yeah.
I like how it made a lot of the things I said more like sophisticated and clear.
Okay.
But some of the things that it summarized completely disregarded some of the details I wanted it to add.
Okay.
So.
Okay, good. So it definitely cleaned up some stuff, but your voice is maybe a little missing, or the thing that you wanted to, that your vision got kind of erased or messed up or whatever. How about somebody else? Yeah.
Some of like the descriptions that I couldn't think of since we were doing it.
So fast,
5
yeah.
minutes, without stopping. They used different adjectives that were probably better.
Okay.
More, concise and stuff.
Cool.
But still good.
Okay, good. So So would you say it was still your voice?
I mean, yeah, I kind of agree with that other comment that was like, there's some things that I put that they
Yeah.
kind of rushed past and
Right.
didn't include, but still the main idea was there.
Cool.
Just not the little details.
Other folks, other people that have gotten their output out yet so far?
I would agree. I feel like it took the personality out of my
Uh-huh.
paragraph, but kept all of like the factual information and kind of like corrected when I typed in a letter, it spelled out the word three.
Okay, cool. Cool. Anybody else?
It broke up my word vomit into 3 paragraphs.
So give some structure?
Yeah,
Okay.
so it structured it, and then it actually finished one of the metaphor that I was trying to say.
Oh, cool.
Now,
Oh, interesting.
transitioning.
Interesting. All right, good. So I'm noticing some similar themes here, right? We all wrote differently or had different takes on things, but but your general take on what this tool is doing seems to be fairly similar. Did anybody disagree? Did anybody think it was just totally a million times way better than they did, or totally way worse than they were? In their head, what they had in their head.
Mine was a lot better than what I wrote,
Okay.
especially because I wasn't really correcting myself when I was making like grammatical errors
Uh-huh.
or spelling mistakes or something. I feel like it really, I don't know, it made mine make sense.
Made it look purty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good. All right. Good. Yeah. So again, this is a powerful tool, right? And we mentioned that it tricks us into thinking it's summarizing. It tricks us into thinking it's reading all the stuff and then synthesize. It's not, right? But but it's clear. But the greatest strength of these so-called large language models is the language, right? They're taking 1,000 people's take on how would I write a sentence introducing wildfires in Ventura County, and so it's probably going to be fairly okay, right? It's going to be better than something we just barfed out, right? Like we said, this tool is pulling us to the middle. It's all average or just a little bit below average, right? So again, if we're starting with no understanding, or we're starting with just a barfed out bunch of words that we're typing in almost like stream of consciousness, it's going to do better. It's going to make it better grammatically. It's going to have better punctuation. It's going to correct the spelling errors. Absolutely. But then the other part, so that's a good thing. The downside is, as many of you guys articulated, but I had a vision. I wanted to talk about A and then B and then C. But it talked about A and then C.1 and then kind of a D, right? And so again, it lulls us into thinking there's actually a magician inside there, making choices. It's not making choices. It's just doing the most parsimonious statistical fit for things. But its great strength is in phrasing, right? So totally fantastically useful for, I got to write an email to fire someone, right? I don't know how to fire someone. I feel like a jerk. I don't know how do I write, right? That would give me some suggestions. Someone just lost their grandpa and I want to write a condolence letter. I don't want to be a jerk. I want to be supportive, right? Great tool to give us some ideas for wording for things like that, right? And so, maybe not the whole argument to say, but a phrase, really, really helpful. And again, because it's going through everybody's letter to grandma or everybody's, firing letter, and it's sort of pulling them together, and it's given us a nice, helpful start. The downfall, again, is in reality, right? The downfall is not in the phrasing of things, but the downfall is in is it 4.1 or 4.9 or 3.7? It has no idea what that is. It's just barfing out some numbers, right? Similarly, as we saw with the literature cited, maybe it's a real paper, maybe it's not. So again, it's not actually going through. Now you could give it additional prompts and you could say, double check and make sure this reference is a real reference and send me and include the hyperlink to the whatever, right? So we could do steps like that. But as a default, it's not going to do that stuff for us, right? So really useful tool, but we need to know where its strengths are. Editing, help me revise this. Can you help me say this in 2 paragraphs instead of 3? That kind of stuff, really, really helpful. So it's a helpful addition to our writing, a helpful addition to our productivity, but it's not a replacement, right? And where we get into danger is when we do this and we think, oh my God, this is going to do the whole paper for me. It's going to do my whole thing for me. It's going to do my whole whatever for me. No, it's a helper, a cool helper, a unique helper. We haven't had helpers like this before at this level of sophistication, but that's essentially what it is. Does that make sense? So when you guys use this, again, you are more than welcome to use ChatGPT when we're doing stuff. And in fact, we'll have some exercises where I'll say, hey, I want you guys to use this. Our policy in our class, again, we do not have a universal policy for the CSU. We do not have a universal policy for CSUCI. We do not have a universal policy for ESRM. But our policy in our class here is you may use this stuff for this level of jazz, right? For helping us kick off some ideas, helping us edit, that kind of stuff. But as you can see, if you try to make it do the whole work for you, you're going to fail, right? It's going to be crap. And the other one, like Elise and some people are saying, also it loses our voice. It loses our uniqueness. And it makes everything not just move to the center, but it makes all the writing vanilla, right? I mean, I like vanilla and all, but you know, your perspective, your unique tweak in the world will get lost in this, right? Because it's going to always go towards the mediocre. It's always going to go to the middle. So just realize that, right? And but again, super powerful. I'm not sure how to end. I'm not sure what to do with this paragraph. Let me throw this paragraph in, see if it has some suggestions, right? And you could even say, give me 3 different versions of my paragraph, right? And it would go bang, bang, bang. And maybe one of those is great. More likely, a few parts of that one will be great. And maybe there's some parts of that one. That's how to use this tool. That's how this will help you save time, be productive, but also still working on our muscles and still doing that stuff. So when you do use this, though, you treat this just like any other reference, right? So we have Zotero. You guys are beginning to pull in your references for whatever the argument is. Document them. And this is another one. So you would treat this, I want you guys to treat this like a so-called personal communication, right? Which is mean you guys come talk to me, you go talk to the chief of police, you go talk to the fire department guy, or you're interviewing your grandma about how she survived the earthquake or something, right? And so there's good stuff from your grandma. Okay, great. So you're getting that. And we need to cite that, but we cite that as a so-called personal communication. So we say the person's name, we say the date, and give a little title, interview about whatever. And so that's how you can use it. So you can say, and then I'll ask you guys to have a little thing at the end of any kind of write-up we do that just says, after all the stuff, just says, hey, what tools did you use? And I don't care. I'm not criticizing. I just want to know. I want to know what you guys are using so I can better support you. And I want to just get a feel. So at the end, you say, Dr. A, I didn't use any AI tools for this thing. Or I use ChatGPT to help me with the grammar, or whatever it is. DeepMind to brainstorm some ideas. That's okay. But again, attribute. So you can use what you want to use, but be transparent. Don't sort of hide it, kind of way. That's not the goal here. The goal is to help you guys get better with this, but make sure that you're also learning at the same time. Does that sound fair? Sound good? All right.